I love being a girl, okay. Hello starlets, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. I make videos to inspire you to be the best version of yourself and live your dreams. So if you want to be an Everyday Starlet, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Today I have a super fun DIY for you. I have actually been wanting to make these shoes for a while now. So I actually found this image of a pair of shoes on this fashion Instagram that I follow that I absolutely love, and I will link them in the description box below because they have such cool fashion ideas. But you know, they do like these collages, and there was this pair of shoes in one of the collages, and I was like, those are so unique and so like over the top girly. I just love them. So I asked what the brand was, and I think that she said that she just found them on, it was either Tumblr or Pinterest or something, and she had no idea what the brand was. So I was like, I think I can make those. And they're probably gonna be more affordable than whatever brand actually made them. So I went on a quest to make basically the girliest high heel shoes I have ever found. And my version's actually a little bit lower because I actually prefer my heels to be a little bit lower to walk in, because in my age, that's just what I need. So, and honestly, I think glamour and style should be for everybody, no matter what your, you know, height, weight, size, shape, comfort level. Like, I just think that, you know, glamour and being girly and fun, and it should be accessible to everybody. So these shoes are actually, like, the materials themselves are actually pretty affordable. And again, you can make them in basically like any heel height that you want. And, you know, so you can customize them and make them however you want, whatever color you want. So if you guys want to see how I made the girliest DIY high heels, then just keep watching. Okay, so to start this project, you need a basic pair of shoes, preferably some kind of like heeled sandal. These are probably lower heeled than what the actual shoe was in the picture, but I like a slightly lower heel. So I picked these, got these on Amazon, pretty affordable. I got me some marabou, some crystals, a crystal picker, scissors, because you'll always need those. I have some fuzzy fabric. I'm gonna try using gem tack for the first time. I heard about this from the DIY designer, and I'm kind of hoping, because it says non-toxic, so I'm hoping this will be a slightly better option than the E6000 glue, because that is, it's hard to breathe for a long period of time when you use the E6000. I do love the way the E6000 works, but I wanted to give this a try and just see maybe if this is better, because it's supposed to be non-toxic. So yeah, maybe this will make it easier for me to breathe, and maybe my bedroom will not smell so bad. So we'll give this a try. There may be other things that I come up with along the way that I need for this project. We'll see, but for right now, that's what we got. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the heel first, and it looks like in the picture that the heel is actually covered in crystals. Looks like the crystals are a little tinier than the ones that I have, but you know, tinier crystals, the longer this is gonna take and the more crystals you're gonna need. And I had these left over from another project that I've done before, so I'm gonna use these. These are actually Swarovski. You can use non-Swarovski. I have a whole bunch of these crystal pickers. I like these ones that have the crystals in them because I think they're pretty, and I picked pink because these shoes are gonna have some pink on them, but you know, honestly, it doesn't really matter what color you use. I bought a bunch of these because I do so much with crystals, and I like to color coordinate them for my project, but you know, that's just me. And we're gonna try the gem tack for the first time. I'm gonna do these heels, I think, a little bit differently than the way that I've done other crystal heel shoes in the past, but you know, I haven't actually used this glue before, so we're gonna have to see how this works. Starting at the bottom, and with this, I'm actually only gonna do the white part because it looks like in the picture that the crystals don't actually go on the inside sole of the shoe. I'm actually most concerned with the outer edge and getting that even. Supposedly this glue is supposed to dry clear, so hopefully that's true, because right now it looks a little messy. And the bigger the crystals, the more difficult it's going to be to get them spaced properly. Okay, so hopefully this does dry clear, although, you know, it's white on white, so it shouldn't show up too much if it doesn't, but... Alright, so normally I would just kind of keep going up in rows, but I'm super concerned because I'm just doing this heel part, and I'm just doing the inside with the edges, so I think I'm going to do the edges first. I've got this edge done right here. I'm gonna do the other edge. Now I'm gonna line the top because I'm gonna want a nice smooth edge on the top. There's a little bit too much glue in the center part, but hopefully when that dries, it'll look a little less glue-like. But yeah, I wanted to get a really even edge on the outside. And it's not that I don't care how it looks in the middle, but it's just super important based on the picture that it be a really clean edge of the crystal. So I figured it'd be easier to do that if I outlined it first. We'll see if that actually turns out to be true. Now I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna try to get used to using less glue. Yeah, not doing a very good job of using less glue. Okay, and now we have a crystal covered heel. And honestly, don't beat yourself up too much if like there's spots that look a little bit uneven, because, you know, obviously it's, you know, a slanted surface, so everything isn't going to be perfectly even. But honestly, when you look at it, you're just going to see sparkle. But for me, it was just really important that I get a nice clean edge, which is why I did the outside. And then the middle, like if there's some parts that maybe don't line up perfectly, it's not really gonna matter because you're just gonna see the sparkle. And there's gonna be so many other things going on this shoe that it's not like the heels are gonna be the only thing you notice. Although, you know what? This is pretty cool on its own. You could just stop here if you really wanted to, but I'm gonna keep going and make these things really over the top girly. But yeah. The glue says it should dry for 24 hours, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to do the other one, and then I'm going to check back in with you in, you know, at least 24 hours, if not more, and we're going to work on the shoe a little bit more. Okay, so off camera, I actually made some marabou detachable pieces here. I actually have a whole IGTV video on how to do this, so I will link that video to this one, and I will also link the video where I got the inspiration for this. But these are basically just pieces of very fluffy, soft fabric, which are going to feel great on the feet, with Velcro and marabou glued onto them. And basically you flip these on, Velcro them on, and they're detachable pieces. The only thing I did differently in this for this shoe that I did in my IGTV video is I made one that was specifically designed for the strap of the shoe, which I didn't do on my other ones. And ironically, I didn't have any white soft fabric, so I used the pink because I wanted to use what I had. But as I was trying to find some other parts to this, I actually realized that I had a fabric that was almost white that I could have used, but I already did these. So I'm hoping when these are on you won't see this pink, but I figure, you know, if you do see a little bit of pink peeking through, it's not going to be the end of the world because so much of the shoe is going to be pink with the floof down here and stuff. So, but hopefully this will just look like a white piece on the top and then the pink piece on the bottom, because I think that's what the original shoe looked like. These are detachable, so yeah, you can just pop these on or take them off if you want to use the shoe plain. And again, you could stop here if you wanted to. I'm going to keep going because I'm kind of crazy. All right, so I already kind of made a bow on this shoe to kind of play around with it and see what I wanted to do. So I still have to do the other shoe, which I'm gonna try to make it match. I just got some pink satin ribbon here, and then I kind of just tied the bow and played around with it until I got it kind of how I wanted it. So I'm gonna see if I can emulate it on this shoe. Basically, I'm just gonna take my satin ribbon, and my goal is, because, you know, when you have satin ribbon, there's always one side that's a little bit more matte than the other side. My goal is always to have, like, the more shiny, satiny side be the part that is more visible. So I'm going to tie in a knot. I'm sure that there are way, way fancier, more proper ways to make bows than how I do it. I'm just going to do it the only way that I know how. I'm going to loop this around. I haven't actually trimmed this end, by the way. This is still actually attached to this because I don't know. And I always end up trimming it like too much because you can always make it shorter. You just can't make it longer. And just trying to get this bow. And again, if you want the bow to be sort of floppier, which I think it kind of is in the picture, but I don't want it to be too floppy because my heel isn't that high. If you have a higher heel, you could probably make a bigger, floppier bow. And I'm just gonna kind of adjust it. And again, I'm sure that there are much fancier tutorials on how to make like really precision fancy bows. And when you get it just right, you can always like stitch it to make sure that it stays more securely because it's satin, so it does have a chance that it could come unraveled, but I'm not going to go quite that far, especially until I'm sure it's where I want it. This will technically be detachable because it's not going to be attached as long as you don't stitch it to the actual shoe. The key is you'll have to get the bow again, but it'll be trimmed to the proper length at that point, so you would just have to like undo the bow and then tie it back up again. And kind of see if I feel like I have it about the same. This one went a little bit quicker than the other one. The other one I just kind of like, I took forever to get it where I wanted it, and just kind of manipulate it so as much of the shiny satin part is facing forward as possible because I like that part better than the matte side. Okay, now when I gauged the shoe, they had a little bit of the heel showing on the length, so I'm gonna kind of try to trim these to about all the same length. This is so not accurate. This is not how you measure things properly. Just FYI. Normally with a bow, I feel like you would kind of do like a V taper, or you know, kind of like a, it's not a taper, but like sort of a V shape. I'm not going to do that with this because of what my next step is going to be. I want to get all of these ribbons sort of, I mean, they don't have to be exact because again, it's a shoe, so there's going to be a lot of movement. I just want it to kind of be, this is not the way you cut things, by the way. I'm going to stab myself. I just want it to be all kind of about the same. And the way I gauged it with this shoe, when it hangs down here, a little bit of the heel is still exposed. I mean, similar enough, obviously. They should be like your eyebrows. They should be sisters, not twins. Okay, I just want to try to clean up this edge as much as possible. Try to get it as straight as I possibly can along the edge there. Now that we've got like a relatively clean edge, now I'm going to break out my fabric glue, and I don't know if this is a good idea, but you know, we're just going to go with it. And I'm just going to go right along the edge here. Crystals don't pick up quite as well on paper towel. Oop. Okay. Try not to smash your hand into the ribbon, because now your hand is covered in glue. So that was messier than I expected it to be, but we're gonna go with it. Try to make this as neat as possible. And I'm just gonna do a row along the bottom edge here. Again, this is probably not the smartest way to do this. You should probably be doing this on a flat surface and not on your hand. But I wanted to do this, you know, after I got the bow the way I wanted it. I'm trying to get these as straight as possible. And look like in the picture, I think they use smaller crystals in the picture. I only have this size crystals, so this is what we're gonna do. But it looked like there were 2 rows, so I'm going to go across and do a second row. I think I got the glue in the right place for this. I think I got it a little bit too close to the first row, so I don't know if these are gonna stay, but again, this is trial and error. A little bit further up here. If any of these fall off, I'll just have to go back in and redo it. And now you have a row down here, and hopefully these crystals, I didn't use a lot of glue, so hopefully they won't you know, drip off, but we'll see how this works. But you see how it, like, it's a crystal, but it also holds the bow down a little bit, like anchors the ribbon a little bit, I think. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna do 2 rows on each of these ends, and then we're gonna wait for these to dry and then try them on. So I finished my ribbon bottoms, and once these are dry, I can actually go back in and just maybe trim off any of the little fuzzy pieces that are coming off here. But I want to wait until it's completely dry before I go in and do that, because I don't want to mess with anything. But I'm going to let this dry overnight. But as you can see, this kind of like weighs the ribbon down a little bit so that the ends of the bows kind of hang a little bit nicer. Not totally even, but you know what? They don't have to be. So yeah, I'm gonna let these dry overnight so they're completely done. You know, maybe clean up the ends if I think that they need it. And then I'm gonna try these on and we're gonna see how they look all finished. And if you wanna see the final heel, here you go. These are so unbelievably cute. I can't even stand them. I have a feeling that if I wore them out in public that these ribbons would probably get pretty messy, but you know what? It's worth it. Yeah, I love how these came out. They're so fun and girly, and you can customize these honestly like any heel height you want. You could do them in any color combination that you want. You can mix up the colors. You know, they're actually really comfortable and fun and girly, and who doesn't love all of those things, right? If you guys have any more DIYs that you want to see me do, you know, any kind of, obviously anything that's sort of silly and crazy and over the top, then just let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I love your suggestions. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful or entertaining, then please give it a big thumbs up. Share it with somebody else who you think might enjoy it. If you want to be an everyday starlet, be sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.